He was powerful, connected, and today Gregory Woolley was gunned down in a parking lot.
November 17th, 2023. 10:30 a.m. Vallée des Forges Health Center, Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, Quebec. A man is in the parking lot with his wife and their 3-day-old infant. 7 shots are fired. 6 bullets strike the man. He is pronounced dead at the hospital. The shooting appeared coordinated. Police would later discover the victim had been released from prison 3 years earlier. Missed the button? Go ahead. Subscribe now so you don't forget later. The victim's name was Gregory Woolley, born February 26, 1972, in Haiti. Died November 17, 2023. Age 51. What made his death different? He was the only person in Montreal who could have prevented it. He controlled the link between 3 criminal empires: the Hells Angels, the Rizzuto Mafia family, every major street gang in Montreal. When he died, an alliance worth hundreds of millions of dollars collapsed in hours. But here's what doesn't make sense. The Hells Angels don't accept black members. They never have. Yet Woolley didn't just join. He commanded Maurice Boucher's son, Maurice "Mom" Boucher, the most feared Hells Angels leader in Canadian history. His son Francis organized Nazi music festivals. Yet Francis took orders from a Haitian immigrant. How? Between 1994 and 2002, Montreal became a war zone. The Quebec Biker Wars. 162 people killed, 84 bombings, 130 arsons. An 11-year-old boy walking to school died from bomb shrapnel. Woolley survived every single day. During this war, he earned a nickname, Picasso. Police wouldn't understand why until they found a black toque at a murder scene 7 years later. By November 2023, Woolley had built 3 decades of untouchable power. His death didn't just remove one person. Within 24 hours, street gang territories became war zones. Mafia alliances shattered. The Hells Angels lost their bridge to street-level distribution. Police increased patrols across Montreal, expecting retaliation. None came. That's when investigators realized something. This wasn't revenge. This was a coordinated removal. The question: how does a teenager from Montreal's poorest neighborhood become so powerful that 3 criminal organizations might conspire to kill him? And why execute him in front of his newborn, guaranteeing maximum attention from law enforcement? Unless maximum attention was the point. Woolley grew up in Saint-Michel, Montreal's poorest neighborhood. His parents fled Haiti during Jean-Claude "Baby Doc" Duvalier's dictatorship. They arrived with nothing. By the 1990s, he led Master B, a Haitian street gang that controlled drug corners in Saint-Michel. Master B bought product from the Hells Angels Montreal chapter. Chapter president, Maurice "Mom" Boucher. Before the Hells Angels, Boucher belonged to the SS, a white supremacist gang that existed to beat non-white immigrants. Boucher's son, Francis, organized Aryan Fest, an annual music festival celebrating Nazi ideology. The Hells Angels maintained a strict whites-only policy. Woolley was black, Haitian, everything the SS existed to eliminate. Yet Boucher personally recruited him into the Rockers, the Hells Angels Enforcement Division, split into 2 teams: baseball team, beatings, arson, intimidation; football team, executions. Woolley joined the football team. December 20, 1996. Pierre Beauchamp sat in his parked truck, checking his pager. Beauchamp was rock machine. Enemy territory. A vehicle with stolen plates pulled alongside. Woolley stepped out. 3 shots to Beauchamp's head. Beauchamp slumped forward, pager still in his hand. Woolley fled to the nearest metro station. Police found the murder weapon abandoned at the entrance. Next to it, a black toque containing hair samples. Woolley went directly to a bar, where rockers gathered. He walked in and announced to the room that he had just killed a target for the Hells Angels. Another rocker there that night, Stéphane Siroy, later turned Crown witness. He testified that Maurice Boucher personally ordered Beauchamp's execution. Boucher instructed Woolley not to take money or drugs from the victim. He wanted the murder recognized as a message not a robbery. The toque sat in Montreal police evidence storage for 7 years. 2003, Montreal police opened their first DNA laboratory. Detectives Louis-Marc Pelletier and Michel Tremblay began collecting DNA from suspects without arrests. Discarded cigarettes from ashtrays, used coffee cups for restaurants, napkins from tables. They tested the 1996 toque. Result? Match. Gregory Woolley. 1998. Police surveillance at a Hells Angels funeral. Woolley, mid-20s, Rockers member, was running security, giving direct orders to Francis Boucher. A police officer noted in his report that when someone is in a position to boss around Maurice Boucher's kid, there's somebody. Detective Philippe Paul made the arrest in the early 2000s. He found 2 handguns and multiple bulletproof vests in Woolley's vehicle. Paul booked him into Montreal police headquarters. Minutes later, Paul's phone rang. Unknown number. A male voice threatened that Paul wouldn't survive the day if he didn't release Woolley immediately. The call ended abruptly. Paul didn't let him go. Woolley went to trial for Beauchamp's murder. He was acquitted twice. Defense argued DNA evidence was planted. 2005. In a plea bargain, Woolley pleaded guilty to conspiracy to murder, conspiracy to traffic in narcotics, and gangsterism. The first-degree murder charges were dropped. Sentence: 54 months. January 2007. Prison cameras captured Woolley assaulting an inmate. Minutes later, 2 other inmates stabbed the same victim with shivs. Toothbrushes sharpened on concrete floors. 2008. Woolley appeared before the parole board. He admitted he enjoyed a certain prestige among inmates and was considered an influential person because of his reputation. Translation: he ran the prison. Police discovered Woolley was operating a drug trafficking network from his cell. Maurice Boucher made him president of the Rockers while he was still locked up. First black man to lead an outlaw biker club in Canadian history. But 2010 would change everything. 2010, the Rizzuto crime family faced extinction. Vito Rizzuto was the most powerful mafia boss in Canadian history. Then the family started dying. December 2009, his son, Nick Rizzuto Jr., shot dead outside his car. May 2010, his brother-in-law, Paolo Renda, kidnapped in broad daylight. Never seen again. November 10, 2010, Vito's father, Niccolo Rizzuto, eating dinner in his mansion. A sniper's bullet through the kitchen window. Niccolo died at the table. A rebellion was underway. Reynald Desjardins and Joseph de Malo led the insurgent faction. They had backing from Ontario's Ndrangheta families, Calabrian organized crime networks. Rizzuto family members started defecting. Vito Rizzuto was losing. Rizzuto, still imprisoned in the United States, needed help. Word reached Woolley. Woolley was serving time for conspiracy to murder and drug trafficking. Woolley made calls to Hells Angels leadership. The Hells Angels backed Rizzuto. Street gangs loyal to Woolley backed Rizzuto. The tide turned. Desjardins was isolated. De Malo was killed, shot outside his home in November 2012. Desjardins was arrested in 2013. Rizzuto crushed the rebellion. Investigators later described Woolley's intervention as crucial to Rizzuto's survival. Vito Rizzuto didn't forget. Before his death in December 2013, he gave Woolley control of part of the book, the Montreal Mafia's illegal sports betting and loan sharking operation. Annual revenue? $15 to $20 million. Woolley's cut? 10%. $1.5 to $2 million per year. August 2015. Police wiretap on Stefano Solecito and Leonardo Rizzuto, Vito's son. On the recording, Solecito told Leonardo they shared business, resources, and highly sensitive secrets with Woolley. After a pause, he added that Woolley was more solid than some of their own people. Leonardo agreed. Journalist Julian Scher later stated that the Montreal Mafia leaders considered Woolley to be an equal to them, which was unprecedented. That same year, Maurice Boucher, still serving life in prison, ordered a hit. Target: Reynald Desjardins. Boucher used his daughter, Alexandre Mongeau, to transmit messages. Police recorded the conversation. When Boucher asked if she had spoken to Woolley, Mongeau confirmed that he had agreed to coordinate the hit. Boucher approved. Police identified the target as Reynald Desjardins. November 19, 2015, Montreal police and RCMP executed coordinated raids, 48 arrests. Woolley was arrested at his home. Charges: gangsterism, drug trafficking, conspiracy to commit murder. October 2018, Woolley pleaded guilty. Sentence: 8 years minus time served. Released 2020 after serving 2/3. Full parole November 2021. He returned to Montreal. May 17, 2022, 11:45 p.m. Woolley's mansion in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. Multiple gunshots from a passing vehicle. Bullets struck the house. No injuries. August 3, 2022, 2:30 a.m. Fire at Woolley's property. His detached garage destroyed. Arson confirmed. August 9, 2022, 3:15 a.m. Woolley's neighbor, 2 houses down, woke to gunshots. Wrong address. Detective Philippe Paul, now retired, stated publicly that Woolley had received numerous warnings, including shootings around his house and a fire, and that Paul believed Woolley was one of the main targets for criminal activities in Montreal that year. Police told him there was a price on his head. Woolley didn't leave Montreal. He lived in a $3.8 million mansion. He drove a white Lamborghini Urus. He was engaged to Christelle Hewitt, a Quebec reality TV personality. November 14, 2023. Woolley's wife gave birth. November 17, 2023, 10:30 a.m. Follow-up appointment scheduled at Vallée des Forges Health Center. The shooters were already in position. November 17, 2023. Approximately 10:30 a.m. Vallée des Forges Health Center parking lot. Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. Woolley is in the parking lot with his wife and their 3-day-old infant. They are at his white Lamborghini Urus. Gunfire erupts. 7 shots. 6 bullets strike Woolley. His wife and newborn witness the shooting. The shooters flee in a black SUV. Multiple 911 calls report gunfire in the parking lot. Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu police arrive. They find Woolley with gunshot wounds. Paramedics transport him to the hospital. He is pronounced dead. Approximately 1 hour later, Montreal police receive a call. Vehicle fire. Location: corner of Sebastopol and Favard streets. Pointe St. Charles. A black Range Rover is fully engulfed in flames. Forensic teams examine the remains. No fingerprints recovered. No DNA recovered. No license plates. Quebec provincial police take over the investigation. Organized crime links confirmed. No arrests that day. No arrests since. Antonio Nicasso, crime expert, stated that Montreal was experiencing an endless war, and that the latest murder represented yet another attack on the power of what was once considered the most powerful crime family in Canada. The execution violated organized crime's oldest code: never in front of family. The message was unmistakable. The old rules don't exist anymore. Within hours, sources confirmed. Gregory Woolley. The news detonated through Montreal's underworld. Woolley had been the connector between 3 factions. Without him, the structure collapsed. Street gangs began fighting over his territories. The Rizzuto family lost their enforcer and negotiator. The Hells Angels lost their street-level distribution network. Julian Scher, investigative journalist, stated that for somebody as powerful as Gregory Woolley, someone who survived almost 30 years of the biker wars, to finally get gunned down showed how long the reach of enemies in the underworld could be. He predicted a rocky period ahead in the streets of Montreal. Police increased patrols. Violence spiked in the following weeks. 5 theories emerged. Rival street gangs eliminating an obstacle, but they lacked the sophistication for this level of coordination. Internal Hells Angels power struggle. But killing him meant losing millions in revenue. Rizzuto revenge. The Desjardins faction never forgave Woolley for 2010. In 2015, he was charged with plotting Desjardins' murder. Strong motive. Ontario Ndrangheta payback. They backed Desjardins, lost power when Woolley helped Rizzuto win. Italian organized crime has long memories. Or, Theory 5. Coordinated elimination. Woolley had become too powerful, too independent. He knew the operations, finances, and secrets of all 3 organizations. All 3 factions benefited from his removal. Evidence: professional execution, no claims of responsibility, total absence of retaliation, Coordinated silence. As of today, no arrests, no publicly named suspects. Woolley's wife, protective custody with the infant. She has not given public statements. December 2nd, 2023. Woolley's funeral at Loretto Funeral Home, Laval. Mafia-owned facility. The Catholic Church refused a church service. Attendance, 300 to 400 people. Hells Angels members in full colors. Rockers wearing patches. Mafiosi in dark suits. Street gang leaders. Quebec provincial police conducted surveillance. No violence occurred. No confrontations, no tensions visible. At organized crime funerals, rival factions typically result in confrontation. Woolley's funeral, nothing. Perfect silence, perfect coordination. The silence at a mobster's funeral where rivals attended peacefully meant one thing. They all agreed. Gregory Woolley spent 51 years breaking rules that everyone said couldn't be broken. Born during a dictatorship in Haiti, raised in poverty in Montreal's most dangerous neighborhood, he entered organizations run by white supremacists. He became their most effective killer. He survived the Quebec biker wars, 162 dead, 84 bombs, 130 arsons. He built connections between the Hells Angels, the Montreal Mafia, and street gangs that had spent decades trying to annihilate each other. He became untouchable until November 17, 2023. His greatest strength became his fatal vulnerability. Being the bridge meant serving multiple masters. Serving multiple masters meant no one truly trusted him. He knew too much about too many organizations. If Woolley ever cooperated with authorities or chose one faction over another, he could destroy criminal empires worth billions. That knowledge made him irreplaceable. It also made him a liability. When Woolley died, that institutional knowledge died with him. No written records, no digital trail, no successor with the same connections. The execution in front of his family wasn't a violation of the code. It was a message about the new code. If executing a man while his 3-day-old infant watches is acceptable, then nothing is off limits. Montreal's criminal underworld entered a new era on November 17, 2023. More violent, more unpredictable, more dangerous for everyone. The question investigators can't definitively answer: was this ordered by one faction seeking dominance, or was it a collective decision by all three factions to eliminate the single person who could destroy them all? The evidence suggests coordination. The silence suggests agreement. The absence of retaliation suggests consensus. But proof? None. Gregory Picasso Woolley built a masterpiece, a criminal empire constructed on intelligence, ruthlessness, and connections that defied every racial, organizational, and territorial boundary in Canadian organized crime history. He proved that barriers could be broken, that power could be earned through competence, not just inheritance, that a black Haitian immigrant could command respect from white supremacist bikers and Sicilian mafiosi. Like all great art, his empire was admired, feared, and ultimately destroyed by those who couldn't control it. His killers walk free today. His wife and child remain in protective custody. His criminal empire dissolved within 72 hours of his death. Gang-related violence in Montreal increased significantly in the months following his death. The case remains open. The investigation continues, but as of today, no one has been charged with executing the most connected criminal in Canadian history, while his newborn child witnessed the shooting. 3 pieces of evidence remain: a burned Range Rover, a white Lamborghini Urus, a black toque from 1996. 3 different crimes, one man, one question that may never be answered. Was Gregory Woolley killed for what he did, or for what he knew? And if you made it this far, you know what to do. Hit the bell. There are more cases like this coming, cases where the truth is darker than any fiction.